Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of RiesKitchen. Today we're going to make a Middle Eastern classic snack that is loved around the world, falafels. Just perfect for a snack, lunch, however you like them. And of course they're naturally gluten-free, which is a bonus. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Here are our ingredients. First up we have chickpeas, fresh coriander, a small onion and garlic, some besan flour, though you can use any flour, cumin, coriander, salt, and controversially some baking powder, parsley, and then for the tahini sauce we have tahini, salt and lemon juice. So let's talk chickpeas. So chickpeas are these dried legumes. They are fabulous carbohydrate that's low in GI, so really good for you. It's really important in this recipe that we use dried chickpeas. If you use canned chickpeas, when we process them, you'll just end up with a mush and be basically trying to fry hummus, which isn't going to work very well. So you want the dried ones, but then you need to soak them overnight, which I've done here. Just cover them in cold water, cover them quite deeply because they do actually swell quite a lot, as you can see. So if I just take one in comparison, I just get one on the spoon, to it's undried, you can see there's quite a difference in size as they've swelled overnight. Falafels get that wonderful green colour from the fabulous fresh herbs. So what we need is a cup of each of the coriander and parsley tightly packed, which works out at about 20 grams. And I want mainly the leaves, a little bit of stalk, like I can take this bit off. A little bit of stalk's not going to hurt, but I certainly don't want to put in this large piece of stalk. So a tightly packed cup, could possibly do a little bit more in there, but that's plenty. And now we're going to do the same for the coriander. So now in our trusty food processor, we pop in our drained soaked chickpeas. I've coarsely chopped the onion, pop that in. And finally sliced the garlic, then all of our lovely herbs. Our spices. And that little bit of flour. Now sometimes, it might need to add a tablespoon of water, but we'll see how we go. So just pulsing now, what we want is a nice fine mix. Let's have a look. It's not quite fine enough. It smells divine. So this just needs a little bit more, not quite fine enough. That's better. So now we have a lovely fine blended mix. Now there's no hard and fast rule as to what shape you make your falafels. I like balls. You can do discs. You can do football shape. Today I'm going to be using my size 40 ice cream scoop. First I'm going to measure them out onto my tray so that I get them about 20 is what I should be making. And then I'm going to actually finish rounding them off so they're not just a dome. So pack it in. It's okay if it falls a little bit apart at this point because I haven't made my shape, I'm just measuring. So now that I've measured them out, I'm just going to squish them into better balls and pop them back on the tray. Now a really important step is to pop this tray in the fridge for at least half an hour and it helps firm them all up. So while our falafels are chilling, let's make our tahini sauce. So tahini is crushed sesames and it's just divine, but it does need watering down a little bit. So I'm just going to juice my lemon and add that in. Salt. And then we're going to need probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of water. Let's start with 3. It always looks like you've made a mistake when you start because the tahini looks like it's splitting. Just keep mixing. So that's a bit thick, so I do need a little bit more water. That's better. Good for dipping. So now we're ready to cook these tasty morsels. There's 2 ways. You can shallow fry them in 1 to 2 centimetres of oil for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes on each side. Or the easier way is to pop them in the deep fryer, and we're going to cook them for between 2 and 3 minutes. Be careful when you're lowering them in because they do have a high moisture content. You need your oil at 190. If you don't have something that's got a temperature probe on it, that's when if you drop a little bit in, it sizzles all around. So I'm going to be using the basket and then gently lowering them in with my spoon because otherwise I don't want them to break up. Here they go. Lovely sizzle. Now don't be tempted to overcrowd your pan, that'll drop the temperature of your oil. What we want is a short, sharp cook to make these go golden brown and delicious. And these first ones are done. So drain them on some paper towel. Now these are best pretty much straight out of the oil. So for a very rare time, we don't have to wait. We can just dig in. Gosh, these smell good. For all the details of today's recipe, don't forget to check out my blog at the link below. But as always, the best bit's in the eating. The outside's crunchy, the middle's soft and fluffy. Those herbs just pop. Gosh, this is delicious. I think the crew's at risk of not getting too many of these. Until next time, everybody, take care. Ciao.